All right, guys, welcome back. We are now joined by Logan Reever in a Detroit Tigers hat because he is the in-game host for the Detroit Tigers. It's weird having an enemy in the show, but Logan and I went to college together. Actually, I haven't seen Logan in probably a decade. Yeah. Probably since I graduated. He was a year in the class younger than me, but now he is thriving in the media world, and we figured if the Tigers are in town and the three of us are not the most esteemed baseball knowledgeers on this UCSS show, we should bring in someone
let's make up
who
for
does
it
this, who does this for a living. So, Logan, this is your first time in Cleveland, correct?
First time in Cleveland.
Your initial impressions since being here from what, like 9 o'clock?
It's nice. I had some. It's nice outside, so there's that. But walking around the stadiums are nice. They're near each other, which is all you can ask for, right? It's nice. I think you know what it might get maybe trying to. It's very similar to Detroit, right? We're trying to dispute previous connotations of the cities. Yeah. So I can resonate with that. It's nice.
Yeah, shout out to Greektown, man. You know, we be going right.
There you go.
I used to go right through there through Windsor because I used to still go because you had to be 19 to go gamble. Yeah. So I was just like, yeah, man, I'm going. See, and they're like, were you gambling at OU? Hey, listen, back then it was just blackjack. We weren't doing no teams.
It doesn't count.
They don't count. Blackjack's good.
We'll get into some of the other stuff and have a little fun in a sec, but we do have to talk about the upcoming series because Skubal's back. Yeah. And I know 38 days he had this situation, and we thought he may be out for a long, long time. And he's back. He's pitching on Saturday, making his return. How did he do it?
That's a really good question that we've been asking him the entire time. So initially he was supposed to be out for 3 months. It's been 5 weeks. With this thing that they're calling like Skubal scope, but then we asked him about it. We're like, hey, like, you know, how there's Tommy John, like, do you want this to be kind of named after you? And he's like, absolutely not. Why would I want like a surgery or something to be named after me? But it's borderline miraculous because in a lot of ways, like as soon as he went out, that's when the team deep dove. Yeah. Just in terms of the standings. And so at a certain point, like, yeah, baseball, you're going to have your ebbs and flows, but I mean, the line of demarcation of them immediately losing all of these games, I mean, like you lose your emotional leader. And then they've been able to kind of right the ship a little bit going into the series, but there's a different energy when he's on the mound. But I think what the craziest part is that this is the like later timeline. Like Skubal's, when it comes to his work ethic, he's psychotic in a great way. Like he's pedal to the metal, always. But this is like the mild version of the road back. Like if it was up to him, it probably would have been a week that he was out entirely. Man. So the medical part of it is kind of a phenomenon. I think there's a lot of guys like Blake Snell, others who are trying to mimic now this surgery and road to recovery. But I mean, they've been, like I've been saying, they've been playing a little bit better now. But I'll be very curious because now they've gotten Kerry Carpenter back, Gleyber Torres, and they immediately have started hitting. Like they're one of the top hitting teams in all of June right now. So the lift has been very, very obvious, and then you add the Cleveland element on top of it, whereas, as you guys know, the rivalry is just insane right now in a great way. Like, it's great for the sport. The fact that you can have, looking at it right there, the Tigers 11 games under 500, and these games matter to everybody in June, that's saying something. Like, it's nuts.
When you mention Skubal, because we talk about him, you know, reaching market and him getting the biggest bag of money of all time. How is it being, because you guys are in a position like Cleveland where it's like, okay, you guys actually spend way more money than we do. I would like to have some of those guys that you had, but what is the long-term outlook? Is it kind of like don't ask, don't tell? Like, what are your thoughts on Skubal? Is it a slam dunk? Because obviously when he's pitching for you guys, you guys are one of the best teams in the league. And is this going to be something that you guys can really get a judge on whether he's going to be here long term or not?
Well, it's been a conversation for 2 years. So it's like in a lot of ways, even though it is this year, it's not new. And I think that's what kind of even complicated, you know, this surgery is because you throw that on top of it. It's like, well, is he going to be out for 3 months? What's his timeline? Like there's now all the trade talk as a result. Like our team's going to want to trade for him now, and now he's coming back. So there's so many like just balls that are up in the air at the moment. But it's very clear from what they did this offseason going after Framber Valdez, and even, you know, I know Justin Verlander hasn't pitched this year, but like trying to get guys, they're trying to win this year, which is what made when they dove, you know, really tough, is because it's like, hey, and this is in all sports, right? The championship window, it feels like, is getting smaller and smaller in every single sport. And if you have 1 year, even like bring it to basketball, like the Raptors knew Kawhi Leonard wasn't going to stay with them, and they're like, yo, like miss me with that. We're going after it this year. And the Tigers kind of adopted that in the same way because no matter how long that he's here and if he's here long term, because of course they want him to be, there's been those negotiations, you just have to go after it in some way, shape, or form. And look, the AL is so weird this year.
Tigers aren't dead.
Which is crazy.
Like, they should be.
They should. And
They should be, but
any
they're not.
other year, absolutely dead. You're talking about different things. But now they've won 7 of 9. People are starting to believe again after people were on Facebook last month being like, tear it down, get rid of everything. It's just
Rip it to the
it's
studs.
nuts, man. It's so funny how things can change over the course of a week. And I think in a lot of ways, the Guardians and Tigers almost learn from each other, because even when Cleveland was in town during that 4-game sweep of the Tigers where things were really at a low point, a lot of the Cleveland people were talking about how much they took the Tigers as a poster child from the year before when they came back from 15.5 games down, and how the Guardians did it. And now the Tigers are trying to do the same thing Guardians were doing, inspired by them as a result. So they're just going back and forth with carbon copies of each other.
Logan, I think the Tigers were 6-22.
Yeah. I experienced all of it. I was with the team.
Right, I was just making sure I had my numbers right.
Post games were brutal, yeah.
That first win in June, did it feel like the clouds had cleared? I mean, is it just the guys coming back? Is the energy totally different?
Well,
than it
and
was
you
a
know,
week ago,
when you talk to these guys, you look for that answer, right? Like, especially like the news background, you're like, what changed? What did somebody have a rah conversation that changed the entire outlook of all of this? Like, no, we just kept playing. I mean, but the big thing is that they got guys back.
Sure.
Like Gleyber Torres, I think his first at bat in Tampa, he hits a home run, and like guys are having fun again. Sure, winning is fun as a part of it, but it's really as simple as that. But I wish that there was one like cinematic moment that we could refer to and being like, this changed the year. But that's not really baseball. Like, it's just you kind of wake up one day and it's like, hey, we've won 3 of 4, and then you just keep riding that wave. And I think that's what makes it different than almost any other sport. I guess hockey would maybe be the like, even look at the Golden Knights right now. Like, that team was dead in the water the last week of the season. They fired their coach, and now I know they're down 3-2, but they're on the verge of winning a cup. Yeah. It's just those are the two sports. Like, you don't ever see that. Would that ever happen in NBA, NFL? Like, these are the two sports you can't write anything off at any point. It's insane.
15.5 back last year.
That's one. I was going to say, you guys know well.
Guys, even look, the White Sox.
Yes.
From your perspective and from the Guardians and the Tigers' perspective, we're looking around like, what are you talking about, the White Sox? Like, the White Sox literally are in first place.
Those games that we covered there, a series that we got swept, that was probably the low point. Those games were rocking. I was there last year. There was probably like 30 people in the stands. It felt like playoffs game every single game that we were in Chicago. It's night and day. It takes one season. It's nuts.
I got one more real baseball question. Let's have some fun. But some of the young guys, not just for Cleveland but Detroit, whether it's been Travis Bazzana and Chase DeLauder, Parker Messick, they've kind of invigorated some of the fan base here because they see the next generation in the future. And Kim McGonigal from Detroit is something special. How much do you think the infusion of young talent in this particular rivalry will kind of keep the emotions running high and the fuel between the two fan bases after what happened last year and then moving forward?
I think it's in good hands. I think you also have guys who are going to be like, you can't guarantee guys are going to be good for a long period of time. It really feels that way, specifically with McGonigal and DeLauder. Like, those guys going back and forth. But it's funny because this rivalry in a lot of ways has been headlined by the pitching. You don't get, so if, like, imagine if the bats start getting to a certain point where it's like you have both of those at the same time. We just did a story even yesterday about like the McGonigal family is so, like, they're so down to earth. And you, like, Skubal, like, probably the most down to earth pitcher, let alone ace. You'd be like, this guy has 2 Cy Youngs, and you can just chop it up and just on a daily basis. It doesn't matter with these guys. And I think Kevin is very similar to the point where they know where they came from. They have that background. They're not going to like big time you, one up you in that sense. And I feel like that's got to be the case with a lot of the Guardians too. When you have that dynamic, it allows them to kind of play so freely to the point now where, you know, AJ Hinch was talking about Kevin McGonigal can't get a day off because he's just been so good. And it's like he's never played this. He's never had this workload on his plate, but he's too good to take out of the lineup right now. And when you're a slumping team, there's on top of it, which is the ultimate credit to Kevin on top of it. But I'm sure that's the leg up that the Guardians have at the moment. It's like, all right, we have a couple games to work with, so you can give these guys like rest here or there. But no, the game is very much in good hands. And like, I mean, honestly, like I think there's only been 3 teams ever in the history of baseball, if I'm correct, to have played each other in the playoffs 3 straight years. It'd be amazing if it happened again this year. I mean, that just goes to show how rare it is, the fact that they played twice in a row in seasons.
Let's have some fun. You get to travel with the team, and you've been to all these different ballparks. Progressive Field, incredible food scene.
I was gonna say I haven't. This is gonna be tonight's gonna be the first time.
It's an awesome ballpark, and I'll give you all the best spots. But incredible food scene. I saw you had the White Sox Mega S'more Shake. I also
that thing was ridiculous.
Yeah,
is there a similar one here?
No, I don't think so.
It's against the law in Ohio.
That many calories you can't put
have that diabetes milkshakes. We ain't doing that.
Has that been the best ballpark eat you've had in your travels?
The White Sox one? I would probably say so. But here's the thing: is that we've done a lot of like the Central, like the AL Central stuff, but like we haven't ventured out to like, because we have another reporter who goes on the trips too, so we mix and match. Like the Arizonas, the San Diegos, or like the ones. Who was the one that was doing like the blue fry, like the cotton candy fries or something? You know, like the real. I know the really far off stuff. No. I would say probably Chicago takes that right now, but like I'm open for that to change in like 2 minutes. Yeah, I'd be down for it to change tonight.
I seen.
There's some good stuff at the Garden.
Yeah,
really.
I was watching a documentary on YouTube. Atlanta got some really good stuff.
I bet.
Atlanta got some good stuff.
Do any of the ballparks have Taco Bell? Which I know for you is a big thing. Yeah,
it's huge.
You went viral the other day.
It's the epicenter. I actually see. Here's the thing, and this is what I like. It's great, but it's also like. Whenever I go like mini viral for things, it's my stupidest takes that I possibly have. It's the one thing that I don't think twice about, and then they're like, "That's all." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Don't nobody want to hear about you.
Nobody wants to know about me. I agree.
I'm talking about this Taco Bell right now.
I agree.
You got your own basically fake combo meal at Taco Bell now.
And that's the thing.
And if our system was working, I had a picture of it that we were going to show, but unfortunately, Tagboard's not working.
That's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
So he got. Hold on. What is his? What's the name?
I'll let Logan explain.
Okay, so I had a take about that. This is when the Mets were really bad, and a Crunchwrap Supreme was more expensive than Mets tickets. And so, like, I remember I tweeted out, like, I remember my childhood when, like, you used to be able to spend, like, you get 5 things at Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And it was like $10, right? That was like almost the whole appeal.
Yeah.
And now it's gotten created to be like $28 if you want to get the same thing. And so some fan online then created like the Logan Reever meal with AI, which featured chicken nuggets, which aren't even at all Taco Bells, and a Mountain Dew. And now people have printed it out at the games and like brought it as signs, but it's misleading because you can't go to Taco Bell and be like, I want the Logan Reever meal, because they'll probably like spit in your face. They'll be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Man, listen.
It makes no sense.
Slightly different level in fame. Travis Scott,
That's
Logan
what I'm
Reever.
saying.
There's
the Cardi B meal and the Logan Reever.
You got to get the marketing behind this, man. It could be this is only at a participating few.
Yes.
In Detroit. Yeah, you can get that off.
Have you been to a Taco Bell cantina?
Yes, the one in Vegas.
Because there was one. It just recently closed about 4 months ago, but
it was here.
There was one here. Yeah.
Other side is,
Right downtown.
I would have been every night. Man.
I was gonna.
I would have been every single night, dude.
Man.
That cantina menu is different.
Man, you get that taco. You bringing back drunken Taco Bell.
That's what.
It's different.
Well, why were the 2 reasons you went to Taco Bell? You were broke, or you were not sober. Or if it was both, then you were
at the same time.
You were around in second, heading for third.
They put you in a straitjacket if you were not in either.
Dude, this Taco Bell is so good.
Oh, right it's gonna hit.
Are we going to after hours?
Athens, Ohio, baby.
So if you go out, DoorDash has opened a lot of possibilities.
Right.
There's only one. Late night food here, not great. Like
not okay.
Option-wise, there's just not a lot of options. There's one Taco Bell here that stays late and it's on DoorDash. The issue is it takes no less than 3.5 hours to get there. So if you order at 1 a.m., it's showing up at 4:15, and you wake up cold the next morning. Oh, we got it. There's the Logan Reever.
Like, look, that's a child holding that sign.
We're
corrupting the youth now at this point.
That is kind of awesome though. Like
it's cool. Don't get me wrong. It also that meal doesn't exist.
Do not pull up and ask for that.
The Strongville Taco Bell. If you ask for the Logan Reever special, you will not get what you're looking for.
There's a guy that every single game, because we have our host set at Comerica Park, it's accessible to the public, so there's people that come by and watch it all the time. There's a dude every single time I'm hosting is like, I'm getting Taco Bell after this. I'm like and he's a season ticket holder, so he's there every single game.
100 days, 100 games. He's sitting you with the same.
I have to get Taco Bell tonight after I leave the game.
It's never a different line either. It's always the same thing. It's just the fact that a small child is holding that is what really awesome. It sends me into oblivion.
Logan, we got to get you out of here, but who wins the series? And it's a 3-game set. Gavin Williams on the mound Sunday for the Guardians, so you're getting their best.
Dude,
Skubal's making his return.
I would say, I got to wear the hat. I would say probably Tigers are playing well. I'll be curious how they hit. They've been hitting really well, and obviously the Guardians a little bit of a dip with the Yankees in town recently. These teams always play one-run games is the thing, and the Tigers had not been really good in one-run games a lot of this season. So I think if we get a lot of those games, it'll probably favor the Guardians. But if the Tigers can continue bringing the bats and maybe get up like 4 or 5 runs or whatever, I expect them to take the series.
You're supposed to tell him he came here. No fence riders. We need a series total. Who wins?
They pay my checks. I have to. What do you think I'm going to say?
He come in here, buddy. Listen.
Guardians are going to sweep.
The big black guy got me canceled. He asked me this question, got me up out of here, bro.
Hey, so we clipped this segment that you had on the Cleveland show.
Well, this is live.
What to do.
Yeah. Thousands of people watching. This will be on YouTube. I'll make sure we send it to us. That is Logan Reever. We appreciate you coming in. If for whatever reason you can't get the Cleveland broadcast of the games this weekend and you happen to stumble into Detroit and you turn on the Detroit broadcast, you will see Logan and Dre Knott's roll, and we appreciate you coming in talking a little Guardians Tigers with us.
Yeah.
And we'll see him at a Taco Bell in a city near you.